Do you ever feel it? That quiet hum beneath the noise of the world. A frequency that only you seem to be tuned into. You're sitting in a crowded cafe or walking through busy streets, maybe even working late shifts surrounded by the smell of old paper and ink. And there's this sense of distance, like watching a film everyone else is starring in, while you're just behind the glass, observing. Not quite disconnected, but definitely adjacent. It's the feeling of being an outsider, not because you want to be necessarily, but because something inside you just doesn't quite sync up with the rhythm everyone else seems to follow effortlessly. The small talk feels hollow. The ambitions seem misplaced. The constant chase for validation, for fitting in, it leaves you cold. You've probably asked yourself, late at night, maybe with some ambient track washing over the room, is there something wrong with me? Why don't I belong? What if that question is the wrong one? What if that feeling isn't a flaw, but a signpost? Society, by its very nature, is built for the broad strokes, for the comfortable average. It smooths the edges, encourages conformity, because it's predictable, it's safe. But you, if you're watching this, if these words resonate somewhere deep, you're likely someone who values depth over belonging, authenticity over acceptance. You'd rather be misunderstood than hollow yourself out to fit a mold that was never designed for you. Think about the minds you gravitate towards. Nietzsche spoke of the free spirit, the one who walks a solitary path, burdened perhaps by the clarity of their vision, unwilling to wear the masks society offers. He knew the cost of refusing to look away. Camus wrestled with the absurd, the deep human need for meaning confronting a universe that offers only silence in return. Does that tension feel familiar? That constant search for significance in a world that often feels indifferent, even chaotic. And maybe you've encountered Krishnamurti's insistence on self-awareness, on questioning everything, the conditioning, the assumptions, the very structures we take for granted. This questioning, it inevitably sets you apart. Because the truth is, most people do stay mediocre, not out of malice, but because questioning is uncomfortable. Conformity is a warm blanket promising acceptance, even if the price is the slow suffocation of your true self. Jung warned us, the price of blindly fitting in is often a profound self-betrayal. So, this loneliness, this feeling of being on the outside looking in, what if it's not a weakness, but the very soil from which authenticity grows? What if it's the price you pay for seeing the world with unfiltered eyes? You see the performance, the quiet desperation behind the forced smiles, the way people trade meaning for comfort. Yes, it's lonely. God, it can be incredibly lonely. But perhaps that loneliness is the tax you pay for depth, for refusing to numb yourself to the inconsistencies and the superficiality. So what do you do with that? When the world feels alien, how do you navigate it without losing yourself? You don't necessarily fight the alienation. You embrace it. You turn inward, not as an escape, but as a source. Let it fuel the entries in your journal. Let it guide the books you choose, the ideas you explore late into the night. Let it become the ink in your pen, the philosophy you build brick by thoughtful brick. Find solace in the quiet corners, in the ambient soundscapes that allow your mind to wander. Create your own meaning, independent of external applause. Maybe you'll never feel like you completely belong in the conventional sense. Maybe you'll always feel that slight dissonance, that step out of sync. But maybe that's the entire point. Maybe you're not meant to blend in. You're the observer, the questioner, the one who refuses to look away. Your path isn't about finding where you fit in the existing map. It's about drawing your own. Don't let the discomfort shrink you. Let it shape you. Because the outsider isn't a misfit. They are the cartographer of their own soul. And that is a truly meaningful way to live.